Thank you. So, sir?
Ready to go then?
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no
Can you hear me okay? All right.
Yeah, fine.
Great. My name is Lawrence Jasper. I'm here for Park Place Little City. It's a partnership that I would like to do with the city of Pontiac. We only have 10 minutes, so you're going to have to bear with me. It's a universal platform that we attach to mixed-use development. It synchronizes the 21st century, provides economic stability, and generates manufacturing while we develop Jaspers.
You need to speak to the mic, maybe?
It doesn't. It only works sometimes. One team result is our logo. I'm sorry?
Oh, I'm sorry. Microphone also. Might need to get
It
a
seems to. I'll try to do it a little louder, but the mics are only partially working.
Yes.
Did you call him?
Go ahead, continue. We kind of make do.
All right. So, the idea of the Little City franchise is to bring together the city, the people, and the local businesses. We synchronize the 21st century by incorporating a digital network. Well, yeah.
Yours might work.
Energy, one team, endless results.
Let me pause for a minute. That one's out also?
Can you reset the time, please?
Has our cable director responded?
Hello?
Send somebody down to get him.
Hello?
Okay.
Okay. All right. All right. Sorry, I'm going to try this one more time, and let's go. Hello?
Hold the mic up
Just
to you.
put it
You
in the
got-
thing and talk.
I'll try.
Okay. Deeper out again.
Saw that, yeah.
Okay, now I believe he shut it off. I think he just.
You know? All right.
Mine doesn't work either.
All right, my name's Lawrence F. Jasper II. I'm the CEO of Omega Investments. We want to build the Park Place Little City. The Little City franchise is a universal platform where we synchronize the 21st century. We do this by incorporating a digital application that provides economic stability to the local city, generates manufacturers, and develops Jaspers gateways. Our logo is Energy One Team and endless results. The Ottawa Towers have a unique deal for the satellite connection, and we use IBM artificial intelligence to do this. The hotspot's already been in existence for Oakland County, so we're going to be able to provide Wi-Fi, triple play telecommunications, and cloud hosting services to everybody in the city and anyone within a 25-mile radius. Microsoft developed a new team educational solution through AI development. We expect to use that for our workforce development. We also use artificial intelligence for monitoring and health systems. The Little City High Tech, we also use augmented and virtual reality systems, which we would bring in entertainment. This is my vision of a little city. You can see it matches up with the Ottawa Towers and the parking structure. Identical almost. I did that 10 years ago. The reason for this is that we want to put a face on here, and you can see the artificial illustrations that I've done with a local developer here. The theme for the little city, each one is different. Today we're going to use the amphitheater because that's the heart of Pontiac. And so we build off of the parking structure. Right now we face a crisis. The Phoenix parking facility needs repair, and the settlement agreement is not an asset, it's a liability. Operating and technology costs of the city, education for high-paying jobs for its voter, mass transit, the amount of people visiting downtown, parking downtown businesses, investment dollars, and citizens, real estate values, and average incomes need to be improved. This is what the Little City franchise is all about. Now, the settlement agreement we've been told is an asset, but we paid $3.5 million at the signing, $700,000 each year for the next 5 years. The amphitheater, which is the heart of Pontiac. We pay for insurance, electrical, maintenance, but we have 2,000 spaces we can't use, we can't sell. Ottawa Towers awarded $7.35 million. Awarded a quitclaim deed on the amphitheater, so we don't own it. Awarded parking cards for 1,800 spaces. Awarded the rights to assign leasees to the new leases, so they can actually charge through the leases. Awarded the ability to charge for parking in the leases. Awarded the rights to charge interest and penalties of 5% or more, and awarded parking for approximately 2,000 spaces for 30 years. This is not an asset, it's a liability. Ask any banker. However, if we leverage the parking structure to purchase the Ottawa Towers, we can make the settlement agreement null and void. It's already suggested by the mayor that we use $20 million in bonds. And according to the chapter, if we don't, we have an emergency in our issue, and that can be issued by the mayor or the council, according to the chapter with a resolution. Parkless Little Cities a franchise. We collect for 10 years. We pay back the debt. The bonds are only a loan. And in the worst case scenario, while we're putting in all the applications, we would sell the property in 3 years if I don't do what I say I can do. That means that everybody in Pontiac would get a check instead of having a deficit. City bonds shall be paid by the general fund. Payments reflect a 30-year time period, meaning the general ledger has enough money to handle it. We don't have to do a special assessment. Acquisition to improve the city, all the abilities through the bonds are set there in your chapter. No increase in taxation of voters. Now, the acquisition of the Ottawa Towers, I originally came here on December 10th to look for investors. This is what we're going to spend the money on. The AI system, the solar panels, hydrogen generators, nanopaint, nanomodulators, nanofiber filters, transponders, and an RBC for purification of water. We also rebuild the Ottawa Towers into hotel, retail, four-man rooms for education, medical, food services, professional building, and an entry to the building, which is new face. You can see over here on the diagrams, the illustrations. What we do is we incorporate Wi-Fi 6, 25 gigahertz, artificial intelligence, hydrogen Stirling engines, nanofiber filters, mass transit, 21st century composite tubing, advanced manufacturing, green-powered solutions, nanomodulators, and blockchain IT. Nanotechnology is the future. So we have a research and development campus that's going to be south of the Ottawa Towers. This allows us to initiate new manufacturing. The little city provides centralized distribution for green energy, clean water, mass transit, artificial intelligence, triple play telecommunications, cloud hosted, Wi-Fi 6, satellite access, virtual and augmented realities. And this is our vision for the hotel on the Ottawa Towers. The insides, we have a mini bar, martini bar. We have a hotel entrance. This can all be done as done in a lot of your cities. Waiting area for the mass transit. This is a massage parlor. Now, all these different applications are really just a restoration deal. I don't have to change anything. It's a conversion of the office buildings to the multi-use, which already exists in the zoning. So I'm actually using it to where it's going to increase profit base. The beauty of it is that the voters of Pontiac get first-class environment, membership discounts, on-the-job training, child care facilities, voting and parking for $1, inexpensive digital phone, the internet, on-site digital education, digital entertainment, professional service, and they end up with a 10% ownership. Because you're helping me build my dream, I'm going to help build your dream. After we pay off the bonds and provide you 20% on the bonds. Now, the traditional business model is you buy low, you sell high. But in our case, we buy low, we sell low, like a Costco. So all our prices for everything we do is wholesale cost. That way, the average person can afford it. And we provide first-class services because everyone deserves respect. In the process of that, we combine all the applications. By the city leading by example, initiating the bonds, I can bring in investment dollars from local businesses to match that. That allows me to put in the Wi-Fi, the academy, the marketing, bulk ordering, network systems, telecommunications, accountability system, interactive cloud hosting, interactive community service management, business solutions, on-site medical education and hospitality, along with automated lead generation systems for the local businesses. We make them world competitive. This allows us to be competitive once again. In the 60s, what we did was we decided we had this big debate. Were we going to help the rest of the world or were we going to teach them how to fish? Well, we taught them how to fish. Every decade, we've lost jobs. Our cost has gone up, our debt has gone up, our prices of real estate has gone down. This infrastructure is the beginning because the franchise allows us to duplicate the process and educate the workforce to support the duplication. We do this through the public-private partnership. and we generate the revenue through the city, but we match it with the local businesses. Then we bring in the governments like Oakland County Executive and the governor, who wants to do $3.5 billion in bonds for roads. But with our operation, I've already been up to Washington, D.C. I've already presented and talked to the entire Congress, 489 representatives. I shook hands with senators, partied on the balcony, and I created a new application. The generator is Genesis Innovation, Entrepreneurship, Inexpensive Technology, an educated workshop with ownership and an inclusive business operation. In the 60s, we didn't give any ownership to the people. This is 10%. If you duplicate the process, it's sort of like a stock. What we do is we increase it. We use a military civilian educational process, 21st century housing, on-the-job training, human benefits, 4-year commitments rewarded with lump sums to pay off their debt, and interactive operations. Flex manufacturing for nano telecommunications, green energy solutions, interactive cloud hosting, entertainment and social media, triangular construction, water purification, and most importantly, the mass transit, because that's replacing the automotives. Now, this mass transit has been proved in the state of Michigan through the Congress. It's been through the bipartisan board and had its public hearings, and I've got the ability to build it, but we have to come up with the cash capital. So what I've done is taken a decrepit property, I call it Baltic Avenue, and turned it into Park Place. The difference is the wholesale equity allows me to put up a prototype and allows me to pay off the debt in the process. The marketing application is done with this hotel, security, technology, social network, and entertainment facilities, digital interactive systems, circling retirement communities. Here's the pros and cons of the partnership. The PP is supported by real estate ownership, settlement agreement, null and void, construction, reduction for the Phoenix area facilities, the use of the 2,500 parking structures. Voters have share ownership. Voters of Phoenix also get dividend checks yearly. This is done in Alaska, by the way. Plus, there's no debt to the city. There's no debt because we pay it off in the refinance. At that time, we take ownership, but we give 10% of the parenting company to Pontiac. So every time we duplicate the franchise, their investment goes up. The dividend check starts at $50, but ultimately, they end up with $500 or $5,000 a year. This pays for the taxes and higher water costs that we lost with the water purification system. We no longer get that deficit.
Oh, got time.
The cons is that
Sorry, it's timeout, I'm sorry.
thank you very much. 10 minutes is hard to put in 10 years.
I understand, especially with all the technical difficulties, and we've said that a few times. Any questions, colleagues? I just have one. The blockchain initiative, I'm familiar with it a little bit, but I haven't been familiar with any governments using it. I'm familiar with corporations utilizing it.
Blockchain actually allows us to...
Oh, just making sure it works.
Oh, okay. The blockchain IT is a way for us to use the AI unit to keep accountability and transparency. The problem with a lot of government entities is they overbilled by the local contractors, and so like we see $659,000 to do an engineering architectural design, that's overpriced. Let me give you an example. NASA costs $1,000 for the parts. SpaceX gets it for $10,000. In our partnership, we would be doing the $10,000, not the $100,000. By making the people the people have an ownership, everything is transparent. They can see the records at any time they want. Meanwhile, I intend to have the council review everything on a monthly basis and hold accountable the city, because it's going to be the franchisee. So the blockchain IT allows security, allows us to transfer information without anybody able to see anything. It's really just 4 mathematical problems set in a block.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. That just wanted to be explained to the public. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions?
All right, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to
Feel free to
item.
look at the illustrations if you'd like to see what we can do with this.
Thank you. Item
Thank you,
number 7, yes. Yeah, item number 7, code enforcement report.